Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Nelly's TV. So, we are going to continue with update on the illegal trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Remember that we gave us an update, but as at then, we had not gotten more information as to how the cross-examination continued and ended. So now we've gotten more and we want to update you. But please, before we do that, I would like to crave your indulgence. If you've not subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so that more of such updates, news analysis, history, and so on, and enlightenment will continue to come your way. So let's go into the subject of the day. I would like to go a bit backwards and take everything, from the beginning, at least to get some people on the same page as to what transpired earlier before now. So we are going to start a bit backwards. All right, so the trial started in the morning around 10 a.m. and both defending and prosecuting counsels had their routine introductions after the mentioning of the matter by the court official, that is the court clerk. A witness was brought and they codenamed him PW for DDD. He moved to the witness box and introduced himself as a DSS agent, and that's what they keep doing. They say they are DSS agents, but if you look very closely, you see that these people are the same people who worked under and worked with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in IPOB and even rose to some high-ranking positions in IPOB and DOS of IPOB, but now they are working against him. And you ask yourself, what is the problem? The problem is love of money. Love of money is what is killing everybody now, destroying the whole world. It is the reason Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is facing all these persecutions. Love of money by people he surrounded himself with. That is betrayal. That is evil. They are coming to bear false witnesses, and we will see it. Prosecuting counsel, that is the counsel to Nigerian government, said, do you know? Okay, so preliminary examination of witness started, and so the prosecuting counsel asked the witness, do you know who Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is? Witness, yes, he is IPOB leader. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been calling for the breakup and secession of Southeast from Nigeria. Now, as if secession of a particular region from a country is a crime. It is not a crime. According to the United Nations Charter, people have the right to self-determination. They can decide to say, we don't want to continue to be part of this country, and they break up peacefully. But now people, terrible countries look at it as a crime, and the world is looking away from it. In the United Kingdom, Scotland is seeking secession from the United Kingdom. Nobody is calling for anybody's head. In Spain, Catalonia is seeking secession from Spain, and nobody is imprisoning anybody. In Canada, Quebec is a region in Canada. It is seeking secession from Canada, and nobody is arresting anybody. But in Nigeria, a contraption. Once you say, I don't want to be part of Nigeria anymore, they will start looking for your head. Meanwhile, how was this Nigeria even formed? It was created by one drunkard called Frederick Lugard. Nobody agreed with anybody to create that country or be part of that country. Everybody was forced into it, and the constitution was written by just one or a few persons, and they said, we, the people of Nigeria, have agreed. Where did anybody agree to write any constitution? So lies upon lies are laid on the foundation of that contraption called Nigeria, and that is why they do every evil possible to continue keeping it. And Britain is strongly behind this evil. They are strongly behind it because that is where they get their raw materials. They get oil, petroleum product at almost free. Almost free. They are thieves, That's why they are punishing Nnamdi Kanu, persecuting him to stop him from asking for secession, because the oil that Britain and other European and American countries are stealing from Nigeria come from the southeastern part of Nigeria, which is seeking secession as an independent nation called Biafra. So let's continue. Prosecuting counsel said, how can you describe him? Witness, he's a terrorist. You see, somebody just comes up to the court and says that somebody is a terrorist. Ever since they started saying this thing, they have not been able to prove it. But look at him saying it. He's a terrorist. And what will you call Fulani herdsmen? What will you call Boko Haram? Nigerian government arrests these known terrorists and then release them again. Employ them into police, employ them into army, integrate them back into the community, send some of them abroad for schooling. But somebody who is saying, I want to be out of this country, they call him a terrorist. But the main terrorists, they have integrated them into the security architecture of the country. And the people they displaced, the people they massacred in their communities, and they are now living in IDP camps. They are still in IDP camps. Some have stayed there for getting to 20 years now. They have not been reintegrated back to their society. None of them has gone back home. None of them has gone back to their original homes. But the terrorists who terrorize them and displace them are safely and carefully and, beautifully restored, reintegrated into the society, pampered back into the society. What type of country is that? And they say it's a country. That place is a den of terrorists. Nigeria is a den of terrorists, supporting terrorists and grooming terrorists. And they have the mouth to call Mazi Nnamdi Kanu terrorist. Anyway, it's not surprising, because anytime you want to pull out of the clutches of your oppressor, he will look for everything to label you every bad name. The same thing happened to Mandela. Mandela was called a terrorist until he got what he wanted and he became a statesman. The name changed. What of the leader of the group they call the terrorist group in Syria that ousted their president Assad? The man was declared wanted when they were fighting Assad. But after they ousted Assad and he's now the current president of Syria, he is no longer a terrorist. He is now dining and whining with the president of America, President Donald Trump, today. And he is moving from country to country. He was declared wanted, but today he is no longer wanted. That is the hypocrisy of Europe, America, and the United Nations. Let's proceed. So, the prosecuting counsel continued. How did you get to know him? Witness, I knew him when he was arrested in Lagos and he incites people through Radio Biafra. Okay? He incites people. Prosecuting counsel, where did he keep the transmitter used in airing Radio Biafra? Witness, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu kept it in one Benjamin Madubugu's house at Obuluisiuzo. Okay? Now, let me highlight a bit. This Benjamin Madubugu was one of the high-ranking members of IPOB in IPOB Directorate of States, right? That was why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu kept this thing in his house. He was a high-ranking officer in IPOB. Benjamin Madubugu is now working freely, even when his name is included in what Nnamdi Kanu did. All right? He is working freely now. He is free, very, very free. Nobody is going after him. But they are going after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So what does that tell you? Where does Benjamin Madubugu belong today? Does he still belong to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or now somehow working for Nigeria? Because I see no reason why Benjamin Madubugu's name will be mentioned here in this case, and nobody has called for his head. They are only calling for Nnamdi Kanu's head. The transmitter was kept in his house. But Benjamin Madubugu is not under detention. He's not in detention. He is free. Just use your head and do the calculation. Prosecuting counsel, let's continue. Who was assigned to carry out the transmitter search? Witness, I was to carry out the search. I located the transmitter and retrieved it. Okay, they said they retrieved the transmitter. Counsel, the prosecuting counsel moved towards the witness box and showed the masked witness the search warrant for the transmitter. Prosecuting counsel then said, in whose name was the search warrant issued? Witness, in the presence of Madubogo, the same Madubogo, at his house in Ubulisoza. So they went to search Madubogo's house, but Madubogo is a free person. Oh God. So when I told you that the people who worked with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu are now his enemies today, I wasn't making a mistake. You will hear more. So take note, the presiding judge, and at some point, he raised an eyebrow on live reports and transcription of court proceedings. So in other words, he didn't want further reports and preferred secret trials. But things continued moving. Prosecution counsel, what are the contents of the container you found at Benjamin Madubugu's house? Witness, 2 pump action guns. Listen, 2 pump action guns, live bullets, 2 pistols, and cartridges. We ordered Benjamin Madubugu to open the transmitter, and when he did, we only saw household items. Can you imagine? So what are you talking about? Pump action, live bullets, and pistol. And then when he opened the transmitter, you saw only household items. Does that add up? This is how, these people, I don't know what's wrong with their head. So what at the end of the day, what was inside the carton? What was inside the container? Oh my God. Prosecution, is what you are holding in your hand now the same video that was handed over to you for the transmitter investigation? Witness, yes, it is. The video evidence was tendered by the prosecuting counsel, and the presiding judge marked it as an exhibit. Prosecution, there is the prosecuting counsel. What were the contents of materials found during the raid of Madubugu's house? Again, he came again. Witness, 2 pump actions were found in the container. 2 pump actions were found, but he earlier said only household items. This is how they keep contradicting themselves. Chimezie moved household stuff. I was asked to keep the container. Okay. MNK and Chimezie came and inspected the container. So in the video, they tendered, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was seen inspecting the container. All right, that was just the summary of the video they tendered to the court. Prosecution, in your 25 years of work in the Southeast, how would you describe the atmosphere of the Southeast? Witness, life has been made difficult due to IPOB activities. IPOB is committing terrorist acts. They keep saying terrorist acts. But today, Fulani herdsmen are taking over everywhere, rampaging villages, kidnapping people and collecting ransom, and even still unaliving them after collecting the ransom. They are not talking about that. That is not part of their problems. But when IPOB says sit at home, it becomes an issue. Prosecuting counsel, are all members of IPOB ESN2? Witnesses, yes. They enforce Mazi Nnamdi Kanu instructions. They attack security agents, especially Hausa Fulani. That's laughable. And of course, everyone in the court laughed at him. So, the cross-examination continued. Prosecuting counsel, how do you identify ESN? Witness, they move in large groups. ESN? ESN moves in large groups? Funny. These people can lie. ESN engages in moral guerrilla warfare. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gives instructions through Radio Biafra, especially on Biafra Day, May 30th, for them to attack especially government agencies. Our facility listens to all Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's broadcasts. Prosecuting counsel applies to play the broadcast of May 29th. May 29th. Now, in the broadcast, MNK broadcast was played, and in the broadcast, prosecutor decided to discontinue the first broadcast. Review of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast. The broadcast was reviewed in the court, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's voice was heard, where he was boldly saying, no business, that is where he boldly said, no business person, no mosque or churches should be touched. Don't touch any of these categories of people and places. Okay, but we are talking about sit at home to commemorate the fallen heroes during Biafra Nigeria war. Are you getting it? And he's telling the ESN, don't touch any of these people, because the job of ESN was to guard our forests against the Fulani marauders, Fulani terrorists who are occupying our bushes and forests, terrorizing farmers, attacking villages, massacring people, and taking over villages, kidnapping people and collecting ransom. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was saying, go after those people and chase them out of our forest, but don't touch any business person. No, don't touch any mosque, don't touch any church. That was what he was saying in the broadcast. And that was what they tendered in the court. Oh God. Where there is evil, it is terrible. Okay, witness narrated that Gulag was spied on Monday. But do you know what? Suffice it to say that May 30th, 2021 was on a Sunday. So they observed May 30th, 2021 on a Sunday, and on Monday, Gulag was unalived. And then they are saying that it is due to the sit-at-home on 30th of May 2021 that Gulag was unalived on Monday. So what concerns Sunday and Monday? Because the activity was observed on 30th being Sunday, and it ended that day. It didn't continue on Monday. And that's what they are presenting in the court as a witness. Prosecuting witness. Is sit-at-home still ongoing? Witness, yes, my lord. Prosecuting counsel, who is he counsel? Witness, he is one of the feared ESM members. On April 5th, Ikonso led an attack on the Imo State Correctional Center. You know, this is how they talk rubbish all the time. They talk rubbish all the time. Okay? I mean, what concerns sit-at-home and Gulag that met his end? And to even make matters worse, they also contacted one guy they could name Onyame. Onyame was a member of IPOB and a high-ranking member of IPOB for that matter. So Onyame gave his witness. He gave his what do they call it? He gave his confession concerning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And do you know what he said? The same yesterday, in the same court session. Onyame said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ordered him to unalive 1,000 persons, but he succeeded in unaliving only 30. This was an IPOB member. This was an official of IPOB working under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Today, he is reporting, bearing witness against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in favor of the same Nigerian government. They have been telling us that the Nigerian government is our enemy, Now, Onyame told the court that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ordered him to unalive 1,000 persons, but he succeeded in unaliving 30. What a rubbish, what a trash. And all these things are due to love of money. So people, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is just a victim of circumstance. He is a victim of circumstance. He is suffering from the trust he bestowed on people around him. And look at it, his own executive, his own officials are the people, testifying against him today in court. Are you getting it? So betrayal, sabotage is very dangerous. That is what is playing out here. The people who are now the enemies of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu are his own close people. His own very close people. Men and brethren, is terrible. Very, very terrible. There are lots of them out there. The one they call Chibuze Buato, alias Ikenguruago, who has been speaking, who has been the spokesman, the spokesperson of DOS of IPOB. Today, Ikenguruago is wishing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu life imprisonment. Life imprisonment, for that matter. And you know the painful part of it? This so-called DOS is wise. DOS are wise. They have not said anything at all against Ikenguruago. They just kept quiet, as if they didn't hear him. So what does that tell you? It simply tells you that DOS of IPOB is now against their leader. But they keep coming out to say, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Evil people. Evil people. You see Shina Sanworu. You see Chike Dozieha and the rest of them that work with them. They are evil. They are working together with Ikenguruago. And the unfortunate thing, the most unfortunate part of it, is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's wife is also one of those praising Ikenguruago. Men and brethren, I have never seen a betrayal of this magnitude in my life. Wife, friends, officials, fellow freedom fighters in the same group, now betraying their leader. May God help us. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was how we went in court, and the judge adjourned the case and said that they are going to the DSS facility, the DSS headquarters, to inspect the said transmitter, which they said they impounded from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Benjamin Madubugu's house. So the transmitter is in the custody of the DSS. So they will be inspecting it before the next court sitting. And the next court sitting will be on the 16th of this June, this 2025. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was how it went. And it is quite a pity that people have become this terrible against somebody that is fighting for their own freedom, for their freedom, or suffering in detention for their freedom. What they can do is to backbite him and sabotage him. It is evil and it's terrible. So the court was adjourned and they will go and see it. But you know the funny thing, recall that the issue of this transmitter was among the first 14-count charge against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which was quashed by the appeal court. All of them were thrown away because they could not hold water. So the issue of the transmitter is so frail. It's very insignificant as far as this case is concerned, because what they are talking about is terrorism and treason. All right. So what has transmitter got to do with terrorism and treason? Now they are laying their hand on transmitter. All these points were previously nullified, but they have resurrected it again because they are looking for something. All right. So we will keep us updated on the 16th to know how the court case is going. Once again, thank you very much for listening. And I urge you to come back again to look for updates, look for news and history analysis, as we promise to keep you updated. Thank you once again, and do have a nice day. Bye for now.